Yeah, good evening. Welcome to today's tutorial. And today we'll be talking
Yeah,
about CSS. We've already
okay.
discussed a bit of CSS before. That was like introduction class. There we discussed several selectors and how to identify CSS and where to use CSS and the importance of CSS as well. Now today we'll be diving deeper into CSS. Um, so in today's class, what we'll be covering will be quite different from, though, just like a further a further explanation on what we've done before. Um, the very first thing we'll be working on is selector. Let's try to um, wait. Let us try to separate these documents like each one. Yeah. I want to give this one a container, a class container, and I'll be giving this one some paragraphs. I hope you're all together.
Yes, we are together.
Just have a little patience. I think we can start here. The very first thing you need to know in CSS, is why you need CSS. I told you before that CSS is used for beautifying your documents. Normally, your document to be rendered the way it is created, and browsers have their own way of representing and elements, tags in them. For example, the way Chrome will display some elements might be quite different from the way Internet Explorer will display them by default. The margin style in one paragraph in one browser might be different from another. Their implementation is a bit different sometimes, and the way they handle their stuffs. For example, there was a time I told you that um, sometimes HTML in some browsers they will accept one JavaScript and another will implement it another way. So some these are some of the little differences we have in them. Now we'll be working on some CSS. For example, the very first thing we need to do is include our CSS. Let's call it cocoyam. we call this one new file, cocoyam dot cocoyam.css. Let me put this one like this. Assets, CSS, cocoyam. Now, let us try to show this one in a browser. Open a browser, open file location. So here's the file. I think this one is a better place. Should we use this place? Let's see if this is better. I think we'll be using this one. Now that we have this, sometimes if you want to apply, stop this, stop. This is a minute. The very first thing we did in the last class was the selectors. Now, let us assume we want to capture the whole CSS. The very first thing we need, the whole document. Sometimes you can select the whole document like HTML, like this. Then apply a general declaration here. For example, you can have let's say we have background like font size equals let's say 16 pixel. This one is just like apply the rules to all the documents, but you can see something like this. So let's say we want like 19. 16 is fine actually. So let's say if background color will work here. Background color, sorry, body. We have background color equals let's say we have CCC EF. Now that we have this one like this, sometimes you may need to change. If you look at these paragraphs, normally the paragraphs automatically have this thing margin below them. This one has its own margin, this one has its own margin, this one has its own margin. Let's check that here. If you here we'll be using our console very well. This developers tool. Now if you look at this one, let's try to view this particular H1. If you look at this one, let's click on it. Automatically this particular browser gives us a default settings for this one. It has display of block. I already told you that if you declare H1 on that line, there will not be anything on it. It will not allow you to input to have any other thing. For example, if you have span in front of header, it will not allow you it will not stay on that same line. It will fall on another line. Like all block elements stay on a single line. and the next line and the next element and tag starts on a new line entirely. So the font size for this one is 2 em. The margin start is 0.67 em. This one, and the font width is bold. We already have a bold attached to it, but sometimes you may need to override all the stuffs in it, all the default settings. For example, inside, let's override all we have, all the margin in our document. Let's say we want margin of 0. This one is just for practical, it's just um, for tutorial sake. You may not, yeah, it's most of the time you may need not to use this, something like this, to override everything, but in our case you just want to use that to learn. We want let's say we want margin of 0 for everything. If you look at this one, the H1 does not have margin, this one does not have margin as well. Let's save this. If you look at this one, they are jumbled together. Now I will have the paragraphs. Let's say we have H1, margin bottom 20 and 15 pixel. And I also have paragraphs, all the paragraph having margin bottom of 10 pixel. Now you can see that I've already separated the documents entirely, like which one has a particular style. If in this document I have any paragraph, automatically the paragraph will be 10 pixel bottom for all the paragraphs I have on my document, and the H1 will be 20 pixel. Now if you look, yeah, we have this one. I think this one is updating itself automatically. Now let's now go back here. If you look at this one, okay, okay, let's add one more stuff here. Expand that text green. Text green. Nutritional. So let me now what I need to do inside this particular stuff. There are sometimes will be I think the best way to help ourselves is to take them little by little. Like one particular one we deal with one we do before we move to another one. A particular aspect of CSS. Now let's say we have selectors. We want to use selectors and how to combine them with other stuffs, other selectors. Now this is CSS. This is class. This is H1 in it. This is another item as well. Let's say we have another CSS here, other CSS here. Now we have this CSS. What we want to do right now is to give this banner. We want to have a selection here. Like okay, I think ID is better here. ID. Now what we want to do now is to do some selections. We have banner here. Banner. We have yeah. Inside this banner, we want this particular banner to. We want to select this banner. We want to have we want to affect this section of the page. What we really want to do is to have we want to achieve here for this learning is to have like if to select this one I'll have multiple selection, single selection, and how to traverse the elements, the tags within it. The very first thing we'll do is to have this banner that we have background color. We have let's say we have FFF. Now let's select a beautiful color from this. Yeah. Are we still together? Hello guys. Hello. Oh, it seems I'm offline. I just hope the recording is still on. What we actually want to achieve here is to talk about the way we can select elements inside tags and the way we can reference them. Now I told you some times ago that tags styles have importance, so you have to be careful with the way you use them. Now let's assume we have this particular banner, this section, just for listen, for practice sake. Now we've already selected the banner, like the background color is this. Where did you stop here? Where did you stop here, Remy? Did you see this one?
No.
You didn't. What about this one?
No, we did not see any of this. You were just trying to prepare the
Oh,
external CSS.
oh, sorry. What I said about this is that I want to declare a glue. I want to override all the text within my with the text font within my document,
Okay.
and I said inside HTML itself, if I use font size here, there are sometimes whereby the things you declare here might not affect all the elements inside the document. For example, this font size is supposed to affect all elements inside my document, including the H1, but H1 is exempted. There are some times whereby it will not affect all the tags. Now,
Okay.
inside body, I have background color. Body, I have background color to set the background. Normally, the background was white. You can see.
Yes.
See,
Okay.
and I have something like this. Now, if you look at this star as well, this star means all this thing, all items, all tags.
Okay.
So I now said the margin. I don't want any margin to this to my. If you look at this one, I don't want any margin at all.
Okay.
Normally, if I remove this one like this, you by default all the elements, all the tags inside HTML have their own default style, and the browse, and this is the work of the user agent you are using. The user agent we are using is if you hear someone saying user agent is just like what you are using to browse, using to fetch your web document, which is Chrome in this context. Now I have overridden um, all the CSS property, margin property using this star, using this asterisk. I said it should clear all the margin. So I now said the H1 I want to clear it. Sorry, let me remove this. Let me remove this one. I said the heading I want to give it H1. I want to give it border of 20 pixel, and the
Okay.
paragraphs I want to give them 10 pixel. Now what we actually want to do here is that we want to use the selector stuffs. Now I've already selected. You already know how to use this one. You know how to use a single selector. Now if I want to select if I want to select this H1 inside this banner, what I need to do, stop. If I need to select that one by not using this general declaration, I want to make it more specific. Now I can say this one banner H1. Now say um, font color, sorry, color. Let's say we have green. I still don't like this color, sorry. Now if you look at this one, we said margin. We also said let's say we have color equals pink. I'm not trying to prove I'm not trying to tell you that I know how to combine color here. What I'm trying to illustrate is the selection, how to use the selection. Now we have this particular one. This one is more generic, and if you look at this one is more specific. This one will override whenever it sees an h1 inside banner, h1
Okay.
an element, it will look for, it will read this particular this particular line like this, find h1 inside banner. That is how it will read this one. Now let's assume I have other stuff inside this one. Now I have like font family. Wow, this is fine. I don't want serif. I want sans serif. Sans serif. Sans serif. Wow. Let's just use this one like this. Now, if I also have another, let's say we have h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6. What I'm saying is that if you see h1, h2, h3 up to h6, apply this style to them. Now, inside this one, I said instead of this one was supposed to be pink. If you look at this one, okay, I think we have that. Let's say we now have let's say we have this one h2 about cocoyam. Oh, sorry, that color is very awful. I'll use the same green shade of green, but not as green as that. So, and this one I want to use a lighter green for this. Now, this one is the under selection under h1. Let's now say we have cocoyam. Okay. Now we can also select and the individual elements inside banner. For example, we have banner. We can select if you look at this one, we have inside this div, we have under div inside this we have we have just two divs. Now we also, let's assume we also have another span like this, another span like this. We now have tuber. Here, if I have something like this, what I'm trying to tell this one is that I want you to select the direct the direct span to this banner. If you look inside, have I started the video? Did I continue it here? It's running. If you look at this one, we have several spans inside this document. We have this, you have a span directly inside banner, we have another span inside these divs. So what we did here is a selection whereby it should select the span inside this banner, directly inside this banner with this. Let's now say we have this one as let's say we have font color. Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course. 999. Some. You can see that it didn't affect other spans. Now, what if I want it to affect, I want to select all the spans inside the banner. I can just say banner spans. This one is selecting all the spans inside it. Let's say we want them to have we want them to have let's say we want them to be bold. Font width bold. You can see that it has affected this one, this tuber.
Yes.
It also affected this one. It also affected this one. Or I can as well make the font size bigger. Font size 10. Let's say we have 25 pixel, just to demonstrate it. Now we have this one, which is selecting the direct child of the banner. We also have this one, which is selecting all these ones. So that is that. Let's now assume we have div, like something like this. We have div. We now have something like padding. Let's say we also the same background color. Stop. Not good. Yeah, this one's. Let's just give this something like this. Something like this. I can as well do something like this. I think normally we use this one with CSS. With class. Let's see if it work with div and this ID. You can see. Can you see this? What just happened?
Yes.
So
Yes.
This particular banner background, you can see that we used this before. You can also say, we can also bring this one down. Okay, don't worry. Now, the reason why we just did this banner, it covers up to this point. Annotation for this. Okay. If you look at this one, this particular div, it has selected the banner section, and this one is more general, like the div inside. There are some divs inside this banner as well, which is being overridden. This particular div is supposed to cover all this one, but it's overridden by this. Let's assume I want to also cover that one. I can say div banner div as well. So you can see that I've already covered this one. So this, if it's also what's this called, class, you can also put it like this, like this one selects the property of the element. I think we have already covered that one. Now in order to for you to select element, you can use the property of element, a particular tag, and the property as well. This is this What I want you to do now is to find how to use. You can look at this. If you look at this one, this is another selector. Like this one is a child. A child Span is a child inside banner. Like all the children of span. It does not mean if it is a direct child, but this particular one means all the direct children of banner in here. Is that okay?
Okay.
Hmm?
I do not really understand that.
You don't really understand.
Yes. Like
Sorry. Now, if you look at this particular one, this is a div, which is a parent to all these elements, all these tags in here, right?
Yes.
We will now have this one. This is under tag as well. This tag is a child to this particular tag.
Yes.
Now we now have another div as well, which is a parent to all this content here, and this span is a child to this div. This span
Okay.
is also a child to this particular div. Is that okay?
mm-hmm.
Yes.
This
Yes.
child is now a direct child to this div. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yes.
This child is a direct child. This span is a direct child to this div, but not a direct child to the banner div. Do you get it?
Yes.
Yes.
So now I want to select this direct div here, this direct span. That is why I used this one, this particular greater than. Do you now understand?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
So in order to select all the spans inside the ban inside the banner, I now use this one. This one means select all the spans inside banner. Do you get it now?
Okay.
Including the direct child, as well as the indirect children. It will select all of them. Do you get it?
Okay.
So that is one. That is that. And I also said, what about this one as well?
Okay. Oh.
What I said there is that this, we have a div like this, and we gave it a background color.
Yes. Yes.
Let me take this one up so it will not disturb us. Let's see. Okay. Now we have a div like this. We have a div, this particular div, and it has ID. Another way of selecting a tag or an element inside your document is using the properties. You can see that joining this property, this particular something like this. I can as well do something like this. This one means select all the inside. You should select all the banners that are inside div.
You. Okay.
But this one, what I'm saying is that if I don't include a space between them, what I'm telling it is that I want you to select div which has the property of ID banner. You get it?
Okay.
And inside this one says select all the property ID banner and all the divs inside as well. That is this one. What I want you to do for me now is to work is to help me check the selection, whereby you can use plus and tilde. This one's,
Plus and tilde.
yes, for selection. Though I'll give you an assignment to work so that it will probably okay, what's gonna happen? Okay, I'll give you an assignment.
Okay.
Probably I will also send a video as well, another video apart from this one.
Okay.
Now that we've already done that one, that is based on selection, different ways of selecting items, but it is not limited to that alone. All we did here is just for selecting. Do not mind the color and the other stuff we used. Okay, I think that is good for, we are okay with that.
Alright.
Now if you want to add font style to your document, this is how you've added it. This one, what we call sans serif, there are two families of font style inside inside an HTML. For fonts, we have the sans, we have the serif, and we have the sans serif. Am I correct? Do you get it?
Yes, I used to see it.
We have serif and we have the sans serif. The reason the difference between them is that if you look at serif, sans serif, look at this tuber.
Yes.
Can you see this?
I can.
Yeah, the tuber. Okay, I think I should increase the size so that you see it. What I'm trying to illustrate there. 50. If you look at this tuber, you can see that at the end of this stroke, this T, it has like an angle, like
Yes.
something popping down. Look at this U as
Yes.
well. At this edge, there's
Yeah.
another angle there as well, something protruding a bit. Look at the B.
Okay. Yes.
So
Okay.
if you look at the cocoyam, let me just put cocoyam like that same tuber. Crop. Look at this T. Look at this arm that's
Yeah.
coming down. It's not on the T. The U
It's
does
not
not.
here.
The U does not have extra angle like extension.
Yes.
All those fonts that have this kind of properties. If you look at the R, this R also have some. After it's done here, it's pointing down on the, I don't know how to call this one. It's for all this you can just see the style.
Yes, I can.
So that's the work of sans serif. Any font style you see with a feature like this, it's called serif. And for the sans serif, they don't have all those stuffs. Look at the end. That is the work of sans serif. Now let me tell you how they work. The system, it will now check your system. If your system has this font, it will use this. If it cannot find this font, it will now use this particular font. If it cannot find this one on your system installed, it will use this one. If it cannot find this one, it will use this one. Then if it cannot find any of this one, it will look for a sans serif for your system. The default sans serif your browser uses. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Now the same thing applies to serif as well. There are many other fonts property you can use. If you look at this one, we have fonts I've used this. I used to use this one, font style, font width. We use this font width for bold. I've already used it before. Font width for bold, bolder. If you apply something like this, 90, 900, it's quite different from another font style. I think we have did I apply any other fonts? I think let me give it fonts. Okay, font size, um 80 pixel. Now if you look at the fonts width, 200, look at this one. This is a form of bold. If I increase this to 300, it will be bolder. If I increase this to 500, it will be bold. 600, 700. It has a limit for a particular font size. You can see that's the work of font width. If you look at there are so many of them. We've used fonts size, font family, font width. For the font style, that's where we have italics and the likes. So this one, italic, you can see normal italic we use in HTML. You can also use it here. That's the work of font family. I think we are done with font. If you want to know more on font, you can check it online. Now there's something we call box model.
Okay.
Sorry. Do you know what box model is?
No.
I cannot explain box model with this view. Let's us use our browser. Yeah. Now the function of box model states that for each element, for each tag you have, there's an area around it, whereby we have the boundary of the content, we have the padding, we have the we have the border, we also have the margin as well. Let's check this one. If you look below, this is from inside Chrome. Come to settings, we have the, I think, where is this one? Where do we normally accept this one? More tools, yes, more tools, developers tool. Just come to elements and you click on this particular item, this particular icon, then select the element you want to use. You want to view the properties. Now if you look below, this is the box model. This one is telling you that this is the content area, this one is the padding area, this one is the border, and this one is the margin. Anything after this one is another element entirely. Do you understand? This is the content. The layer after that one
Okay.
is the padding. Padding is the
Right.
space after an element. Is the padding is the space around a tag, but not outside the tag. The border as well is just like a thin line around it. I think once I'll demonstrate this one to you, then we'll stop there. I've already demonstrated this one once when I was talking about when I applied CSS on menu. We've done something similar to this. And the margin outside the elements, there will be a margin there. There will be a margin, a space around it. I think I should demonstrate that with this one. Are you getting it at all?
I'm getting this particular one. I get.
Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. I think I will use this one. This nutrition. Okay, nutrition. Let's use box. Use box for it. Now you see this box, right?
Yes.
I will now have the box. I'll use the box model here. Dot box. I will give it color. Cyan, like this, just for you to see it. I'll give it a
Okay.
background color of red. Red. Ah,
Okay.
too bad. Okay, let's use black. Something like this. Can you see?
Yes.
I will now apply padding around it. Padding. Padding of let's say we have 15 pixel. You can see that is inside the padding, inside the
Yes.
inside the color, background color, there's a space there.
Yes.
That is around the content, and the space as
Yes.
well also has background color, right?
Exactly.
Let me now have the border attached to it. The border 3 pixel solid red, like this. Can you see? This
Yes,
is
I
the
can.
this is the border section, and the margin as well. Margin, let's give it 7 pixel. Okay, let's say we have 20 pixel. Can you see this is a clear illustration of the, this is a space,
Margin.
this is a space
Okay. Outside.
outside outside the element. This is another space within the element, right? And
Yes.
this is a line at the boundary of the
Are not.
element.
Okay.
This is the what we call
All right.
the box model.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yes.
I think we've done quite a lot today. Before tomorrow morning, if I have the chance, I will, or let's say tomorrow morning, sure, I will send you another
Okay.
video in order not to delay ourselves, because there is a lot to learn on CSS.
Please send it. And this one too.
Okay, sure. I'll send this one
Okay.
and the last video by midnight.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Please remind me. Let's say if you do not hear from me by 7 p.m. tomorrow, please remind me of the
Okay.
class so that we'll not be skipping classes.
All right.
Yeah. Do have a lovely day. Bye bye.
Okay. Thank you. Good night.
That's it.